Hello, my lovely people. It's your host, Smart, once again, and welcome back to Smart Sports Studio, where we don't just shout headlines, we break them down properly, because in football, the story is never just the headline. It's the timing, the psychology, the pressure, and the consequences. Let's start in Barcelona. If you ever needed proof that Barcelona never does quiet weeks, here it is, because just as the presidential election conversation heats up, new allegations land, and the club responds like, nope, not today. Barcelona have issued a strong response to fresh allegations tied to President Joan Laporta and the election environment, pushing back hard and framing the situation as an attempt to distort or dirty the process rather than a genuine revelation. This isn't just a PR fight. It's an institutional battle over credibility, timing, and control of the narrative. Here's what makes this story explosive. Elections in football are never purely about policy. They're about trust. And when you introduce allegations, you introduce doubt, even before any conclusions are reached. The real game becomes psychological. You don't need to prove everything instantly to create damage. You just need to make people hesitate. Barcelona's angle is essentially twofold. First, that the claims don't stand up to scrutiny, and second, that the timing is suspicious. In election periods, statements aren't only meant to inform, they're meant to stabilize. A club wants members, fans, and the squad to feel like the building isn't shaking. Now, here's the part a lot of fans miss. Even when allegations are false, the distraction is real. Barcelona are trying to compete on the pitch while also protecting confidence off it. Players feel the noise, staff feel it. And if the environment becomes chaotic, it can seep into performance. So what does Barcelona's response actually aim to do? It aims to close the uncertainty window as quickly as possible, because in football politics, the first 48 hours matter most. If a claim sits unanswered, it grows legs. It becomes memes, whispers, and suddenly you're defending a rumor like it's a confirmed verdict. The second objective is internal unity. Public unity sends a message. Whatever you think of us, we are not collapsing. Even if political opponents exist inside the club, showing alignment is key. And here's the educative takeaway. Election periods create incentives for information warfare. Some stories are genuine, some are tactical leaks. The only responsible way to consume these headlines is to separate three things: allegation, evidence, and outcome. An allegation is not an outcome. So the big question for Barcelona fans becomes, how does this affect the election mood? Either way, it's a reminder that Barcelona's story is always two matches at once: the match on the pitch and the match in the boardroom. Now let's move to Real Madrid. Imagine taking the biggest job in football, and your first instruction is basically, win immediately. And also fix the injury crisis. And also, please don't lose the dressing room. Welcome to Real Madrid. This is the place where expectations and reality collide. The headline swirling around Real Madrid right now blends two pressure points: managerial expectations under Álvaro Arbeloa and ongoing concerns around Madrid's physical condition. And at Real Madrid, those two things don't just sit side by side, they collide. Here's the truth about Madrid. Results buy time, but rhythm buys peace. If you're winning while players keep breaking down physically, the club might tolerate it for a bit, but not for long. Because injury problems don't only remove players, they remove tactical options. And when options disappear, the coach starts looking limited, even if the real problem is availability. Arbeloa's situation is harsh because Madrid's standard isn't improvement, it's trophies. You can play well and still be under pressure. You can have excuses and still be under pressure. The club's culture is basically, nice story, where's the silverware? Now add the physical element. You see it in patterns: slower pressing, less sprinting in transition. More late goals conceded and more "we look tired" interviews. It becomes a performance tax you pay every week. And here's where it gets even more intense. The coach's training decisions become controversial. Push them hard and you risk injuries. Ease off and you risk losing intensity. It's a tightrope. Madrid fans don't accept tightrope as an excuse. They want domination. Because at Madrid, everything is framed as responsibility. If the team looks off, it's a coaching conversation. If results slip or the dressing room gets restless, it becomes a coaching conversation. Madrid doesn't do shared blame for long. The smart approach for Arbeloa is to simplify, build a stable core, protect key players, and win ugly if necessary. Madrid fans love flair, but Madrid boards love results. This crisis can flip quickly. One strong Champions League night, and suddenly the narrative changes to Madrid are back. That's how fast the pendulum swings. But if injuries persist and results wobble, then the pressure doubles. And at Madrid, that ends with a decision. Now let's talk North London drama. Footballers talk a lot on the pitch, but the funniest battles now happen after the whistle, because thumbs are undefeated. After Arsenal's derby demolition of Tottenham, Arsenal defender Gabriel Magalhaes posted a celebratory message online and tagged Spurs forward Richarlison, essentially turning a victory post into a direct call-out. But here's the twist. It didn't land the way Gabriel probably imagined. Instead of a clean mic drop moment, it sparked backlash and jokes. The post became bigger than the football. This is the modern football problem. Social media turns emotion into headlines. Fans love the spice, but the internet will always pick the messiest option. So why did it backfire? Because social media doesn't respect context. It only respects reaction. The moment Gabriel tagged Richarlison, people started debating professionalism and maturity. And let's be honest, online, even winners can lose. Here's the bigger tactical lesson. Derby wins are emotional currency. Players want to spend it instantly. If you're Arsenal, you love the passion, but you don't want distractions, because distractions are how seasons start wobbling. Consistency demands focus. From Tottenham's perspective, this kind of post is fuel. Spurs can use it as "they disrespected us." In a struggle, they'll take any emotional leverage they can find. What do you think? Is this just part of the rivalry, or should players keep it on the pitch? Let me know. Now let's enter the transfer rumor circus. Transfer gossip season is the only season where everyone becomes a sporting director overnight. Suddenly your barber is talking about financial structure and player profiles, like he's negotiating contracts in a suit. Today's rumor cycle revolves around high-profile names like Bruno Fernandes, Federico Valverde, and Jadon Sancho, plus a bunch of other moving pieces that always show up when big clubs are under pressure to do something. Let's make this simple and educative. Most transfer rumors follow one of three engines. Engine 1, club needs. When a club has a weak area, media naturally connect them to any player in that position. Engine 2, contract leverage. Players and agents leak interest to create negotiating power for renewals. Engine 3, narrative content. Big names generate clicks. Even weak links become headlines because big names equal big attention. Now, Bruno Fernandes rumors usually pop up whenever United's direction is unclear or whenever a big club needs leadership. Bruno is productive and plays with intensity. That makes him valuable, but also makes him an easy rumor target. Valverde rumors often reflect something else. He's the type of player every elite team wants because he's versatile and high intensity. Linking him to moves is like a compliment disguised as gossip. Players like Valverde aren't just talent, they're system glue. Sancho rumors are usually about fit, trust, and stability. Talent is there, but what environment brings out his best consistently? Transfers aren't only about skill, they're about the psychological match between player and club culture. So the smart way to consume today's gossip is not, is it true, but why is it appearing now? Is someone negotiating? Is someone unhappy? Is a club trying to shift attention? Is an agent creating a market? Transfer windows are chess, but headlines make it look like checkers. Now let's cross to MLS. Here's a headline that sounds small until you realize it's about the biggest name in the league. Messi, MLS, and an investigation into a referee-related incident. MLS reviewed Messi's post-match behavior after he confronted officials. Messi has been disciplined with a fine under league policy. No public suspension, but the discipline is real and official. Messi is intensely competitive. He's not quiet because he's happy. He's quiet because he's focused. When he reacts, there's a reason. The league's investigation matters. First, MLS wants to protect referee authority. No league can allow stars to confront officials without consequence. Second, MLS also wants to protect its biggest asset. Messi drives global attention. The balance is simple. Apply discipline, but don't create a circus. And finally, let's close with Liam Rosenior and Chelsea. If you want to know how managers really feel, listen to what they don't say. After Burnley's draw with Chelsea, Liam Rosenior spoke about a missed marking assignment. He refused to name names, but the message was clear. Responsibilities are non-negotiable. Marking is not optional. If you miss it, you don't just make a mistake, you break the whole chain. Rosenior criticized the mistake, but protected the player. That's smart management, and it suggests something about Chelsea's concentration issues. One lapse can undo 80 minutes of control. In elite football, those moments cost points, positions, and sometimes entire seasons. So across all these stories, politics in Barcelona, pressure in Madrid, rivalry in London, the theme is simple. Football is never just football. It's trust, it's pressure, it's psychology, it's timing, and it's responsibility. This is the heart of the game. Now I want your thoughts. Which story matters most? Which club is under the most pressure? And which headline grows into something bigger? Drop your thoughts, like, subscribe, and stay locked in. Because at Smart Sports Studio, we don't just follow football, we break it down properly. See you in the next one.